And now they can hear us.
Oh no.
Oh, wait. Nope. Now they can hear you too.
Oh no, that's not good.
No.
Now I gotta watch what I'm saying.
Oh, there we are. How we doing,
Oh,
guys?
look at that.
Look at that. Look at that. Hey,
Would you
guys.
just look at it?
Would you just look at it? Oh, man. So, yeah, welcome, guys. Thanks for joining for another Lethal's Vapor Lounge Live. We are here with my very special guest, Frames Janklin. What's going on,
What's
man?
going on? What's going on, man? Dude, thank you for having me on. What's going on out there to everybody in chat? Absolutely pleasure to be here. Thanks for asking me to be on, man.
Dude, it's a pleasure to have you here with us. I'm really, really stoked that you agreed to come on, man. I know
Absolutely, bro.
we've known each other just a short bit of time since NVE, really, and I feel like you kind of welcomed me into the Stooge fam like
Oh,
immediately.
absolutely, man. That's part of the that's the Stooge way, man. We accept everybody, and just getting to sit there and have that, the few conversations we had at the show, I was just like, you know what, this is a good dude. He needs to come and join the community. We need to get people, to come see his content, get you out there, bro. Because what you're doing here with your channel, and just you as a person, you got my support, bro.
Oh, I
Absolutely.
appreciate that, man. I really do. I try my best. These guys know. So yeah, the way I usually start this off is by doing our buffets. And so, seeing as you're the guest, why don't you go ahead and give us your
All right. Well,
vape
with
buffet?
that being said, I got a couple setups here. I got like 4 or 5. Well, I've actually got more than that here, but I'm only gonna go through a couple just because otherwise we'll be here all night.
I'm the same.
First one, it's Wednesday, and if you know anything about the Stew Crew community, then you know about the Warlock mods, and it's hashtag Warlock Mod Wednesday. I've got my Warlock's Dagger. This is a dual 18650 parallel box, probably one of the smallest, with this way. Of course, it's a little on the tall side, but dude, this thing's just like, it's almost like holding a tube with 2 batteries in it, just a little on the
That's
BB
awesome.
side. With that Serpent Elevate on top by Suck My Mod Matofo.
Would you look at that?
Inside, got some Turkish Harvest by M Turk himself. This is one of my favorite juices, apple butterscotch, and it's just phenomenal. Next setup I actually just put up a little review today. So after seeing, if you guys are interested and want to check it out, it's that Bennett Tool Customs Squarius XL. This is the 21700 version, full mechanical squonker with solid silver contacts on the inside. On top, I have the basic 1.1, a little single coil flavor banger with, green cap to match those green Juma doors that I got going on there. Inside of this, I don't know where the bottle of juice is, but I have some Sickwood Lime Time. It is a lime soda flavor, and it is pretty damn good. Actually, Sickwood makes really good juices in general, but that one's pretty good at the moment. Next setup, I've got my Unicorn MDX 3-in-1 copper with the Unicorn RDA, the 25 millimeter with the nice patina going on there. Haven't really gotten to polishing it yet, but I'm actually kind of digging the way it's looking. Got a DHD chop top, Blood Moon tip on top. DHD drip tips are like my favorite drip tips in the game. So now, if you guys want to check that out,
sexy setup right there.
Absolutely. Got some Sad Boy custard cookie. Been really digging the Sad Boy line. I will say, unfortunately, in the past, I was kind of, iffy on trying it because, it wasn't 100% cool with the, the labeling that they had in the past, but they've changed it, kind of got rid of that cartoon smiley face thing going on there. And, with that being said, I was like, you know what, I'll give it a shot. And, dude, honestly, the few that I've tried out of their line, some pretty good stuff. And, my last setup for the night is the 1 Gen M from Mad Beard Mods out of Russia. This is a single 18650 squonker. I got to show you this real quick just because it's cool. It literally just splits right down the center, just like that.
What?
Your batteries on one side, squonk bottles on the other side, and this is literally your firing bar right here.
Fully
and
mechanical.
You can change this out. And, I've got a green Stabo and one in here as well. It came with a black Delrin and stuff like that. So you got some customizing
that is
options.
sick.
Up here is actually your battery contact, and you can screw it in or out for battery adjustment. Or if you want to put it in your pocket and don't want to have this thing fire on you, you can just literally unscrew this until it doesn't make contact with your battery, and then it won't fire, and you can put it in your pocket and that stuff. So
Dude.
really digging this. I'm sorry, Hellfire Sentinel on top of this, another little single coil with some Tango Melon by Transistor. If you guys, heard of Vapor Swaggins, or, catch the Vaping with the Ohmies, you probably hear a lot about Tango Melon and Transistor juices, because us over there in Vaping with the Ohmies love Transistor, and Tango Melon's probably one of my favorites. Other than that, man, that's pretty much it. Kicking around with an Infinix, for that little mouth to lung action, with some DIY vanilla custard from my man Overdrip. And yeah, that's it, bro.
Overdrip. First, I want to say out there to my spanners, when you guys put out my links, could you guys go ahead and find my man Frames Janklin's YouTube channel and throw that out there for me as well? That would be much appreciated, guys. Thank you very much. I know I'm staring at chat as I'm talking. Whatever. Awesome. You have some pretty sexy damn setups going on over there, man.
I try, man. It's one piece at a time. Collecting, and a lot of stuff I kind of pick up, mainly to review for my channel, and put out there for the masses to see. Put a little info out there, and sometimes, I spend that little extra and kind of treat myself to something nice, like with that Bennett Tool Customs, or that this 1 Gen M right here.
Yep.
So this one's definitely a little bit, more. I wouldn't say it's pricey, because it kind of is. It's like
it's God Mods Russia.
Yeah, but you're paying. You got to wait for the shipping, the time it takes to make it, because they literally do them in very small batches. I honestly think I was in the last batch of 20 that they're making of these, so I don't know if these are really going to be available anymore. Maybe secondhand, on like the BST groups on Facebook, but yeah, I had to grab up one of them, dude, just because just how tiny it is.
Dude, it just looks the nuts.
Yeah, it
really does.
It's awesome, man. Really digging it.
Awesome. Well, I don't have anything quite that sexy, but I do have some stuff here. First up, I've got the aluminum V-God Pro Mech 1 with the OG recoil on top. Really like that one. I've got the Squid Industries Double Barrel version 2.1 with the Hellbeast on top there. Got the old school Asmodus Snowwolf 200 with the BTFC on top there. I really like that RDA, man. There's not, I don't know, it's just the two airflows, the bottom and the top, just kind of make it work. Let's see. I've also got the Drag from Voopoo with the Dead Rabbit RTA. And finally, the Rage with the blue Twisted Messes TM24 Pro on top there.
TM24 Pro for the win, bro.
I still need to look into one of those Eclipse caps.
I'm telling you, dude, you will not
regret it.
You won't regret it. It's honestly, like, I love the TM24 Pro as it was, as it came. And once I tried it with that Eclipse cap, or even the Trinity glass cap, is another great option as well. Dude, it just like bumped that flavor up, just like times 5, I feel. And the airflow is a lot better, because sometimes that cog airflow adjustment can be a kind of a pain in the ass, because sometimes you want to just unscrew your atomizer from your mod, and all you do is unscrew the cog, and you're literally just taking off the top cap and the ring, and then the left barrel and the deck still on the mod. That was something that was like my main gripe with the TM24 Pro.
Was that outer barrel
cap? Yeah, with that Eclipse cap, it literally is way easier to adjust the airflow on it, because it's literally like any other RDA. You just turn the top cap, and it adjusts, and it's just awesome.
It's not like that locking castling up the top there. I totally get that. That was my first issue with it too. When I first started playing with it, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's gonna be my gripe, my one thing that bugs me about this thing.
Yeah, dude, like that, and they're not only that, but they do look pretty nice too. Of course, this
is it slammed?
Yes. and it's
Oh,
slammed. It's got more of, that kind of like, I wouldn't say a doming shape, but it's kind of, got like that funneling action. So literally the
right.
vapor just
It's
goes
like
straight up
tiered
to that.
almost.
Yeah. And dude, it's just Flavor City, bro. Flavor
Oh,
City. If anybody out there has a TM24 Pro and you enjoy it already, highly suggest the Eclipse
I
cap.
do. I do. I love the flavor I'm getting out of it already. I can only imagine. Oof. So that's what I'm on. What do I have for juice? I've got some a K's limeade line. There we go. SML strawberry mango lime, which is really really nice. It's not as harsh as I thought it was going to be because you know how it's hard to get a good citrus that isn't harsh on the throat. I thought that was going to be a lot harsher than it was. I've also got some Oh My Days Forbidden. It's not going to focus. Fucking Logitech. Anyways, that's a apple cinnamon pastry. And I've also got some Ace from Steep Liquids, a strawberry cheesecake bite. And then
Ooh,
finally, one of my favorites and hard to put down,
Blaz, bro.
Blazberry.
Blaz. See, you're on the berry, bro. I'm mango all day, dude. Mango is my jam. And look how steep my bottle is, dude.
Oh, Jesus. Mine's not even
It's
close to that.
so good. It's like just deliciousness in a
Oh, I
bottle.
do love it. It really is deliciousness. Well, that's what I've got for my buffet. Why don't I go ahead and start saying hello to the people in the chat? Frames Janklin, what's going on?
Yeah, man.
Number
First,
one.
number one.
Vaping with TC, what's going on? Mo, bro, how you doing? J Money, Andy UK, Andy. There we go. Betty, how you doing? Chris Robertson, how are we doing? James McDonough, Saint, how you doing? Irish, Mark Clough, how we doing? Puffing Billy, and we've got Vapor Swaggins. Would you look at that? Would you just look at that? And who else we have? Cal's Irons is in the house. How we doing, buddy? And I think that brings us to about the end. If I've missed anybody, shout it out, and I'll throw you guys out there again. um. So yeah, hold on. I got a bullet point list for the first time in ever. So yeah,
Come prepared, man. I like it.
I try.
like
I try. There's a little bit of dead air, but I'm trying to keep it rolling.
it happens, bro. It happens. You know what I mean?
It does,
You can't
especially
always have everything to say right when you need to say it. Sometimes you gotta take a minute, let it process, let it sink in, digest
it.
it. You know what I mean?
That's it, especially on a show like this where, as everybody who's watched this show before already knows, this is a very relaxed and calm show, and it's just kind of go wherever the vibe takes you kind of
I can
thing.
dig it.
You know, when I do have guests on, what I like to do is do a little bit of a getting to know you kind of thing, where it gives us a chance. I feel it gives us a chance to really connect a little bit better with the community, give them a little bit more insight as to who we are as people, what we do, what we're about, you know. So,
Absolutely.
who is Frames Janklin Vapor?
Well, first off, I'll start by saying, Frames Janklin Vapor is, my second personality, I guess you could say, being on, the YouTubes. Of course, I've been around the vape community for, a few years now. Of course, mainly been behind the scenes, in the groups and stuff like that. And this past year, I decided, to kind of break out and, start making some content and spreading the knowledge that I've gained over the past few years to the new vapor or the smoker out there who's looking to, make the transition. I smoked for probably about 8 or 9 years. And then, luckily, funny enough, my mom is that one that actually introduced me to vaping. And she started like back in 2009, back in like the Ego Pen days with the clear misers, strictly mouth to lung,
With the old
none of
silica
this
wicks.
crazy sub-ohm, super low wattage or super low resistance type thing. And I tried it at that point, and it worked for a little while, and then eventually I ended up making falling back down the cigarette train for a while, and then eventually I'd say probably about, I think it's going on 4 or 5 years now, is when I found my first sub-ohm device, and that one juice that actually made me make the switch completely. You know, it took like probably 3 or 4 days, and then next thing you know, I had a cigarette since, and like I said, it's been about 4 or 5 years now. Unlike most people, I don't really know my actual vaporversary. At that point, it wasn't necessarily something I was really thinking about, and now I kind of wish I would have known, because it'd be kind of cool just to track how far I've been and all that
Right.
stuff. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I make YouTube videos, reviews. I do some live shows. One on Mondays with 5 of my best friends in the vape community. I call them my brothers, or my omies, I guess you could say. Vaping with the omies. It's actually going to be on Clown Vapes channel this Monday, but starting next month on the 6th, we are starting the actual Vaping with the Omies YouTube channel. So every Monday, that's where you guys are going to find us. All the Omies shows are going to be right there, one place, same time. And that's going to be where you guys are going to find us. And that's going to happen, like I said, starting next month. And then on Fridays, I do a show with my boy, Sean Typhon, AKA the Angry Hippie, and we call it the Green Room. It's the little vape stew pre-show. That's kind of where the name Green Room came from, because where do you hang out before you start the show? You hang out in the green room backstage, right? So that's pretty much what we do. We have some guests on, talk to them about what they may have coming up, or even just bring viewers on from chat to come hang out and just get to know them a little bit, ask us some questions. Sometimes we don't even necessarily talk about vape stuff. Like, we talk music, movies, just life in general. It's just a place to have a good time, let loose, and get people prepped up for that Vape Stew Friday. Because honestly, Vape Stew is pretty much what got me, to start doing this and making content, because of the community I found over there, and just the support system that I've got with the Stooge family over there is honestly, I couldn't trade it for the world, man. Because the Stooges, they are my heart, man. They keep me going, keep me motivated. So big shout out to the Stooge community, and of course, all the Omies out there. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. I don't really know what else to say. I could probably sit here and talk your ear off, to be honest.
Hey, it keeps the show going. That's what I got to say.
Yeah, dude.
Actually, it's funny because the green room, like you were describing it, is pretty much exactly what I do here. It's very chilled out. I have, I don't just stick to like smaller reviewers or larger, reviewers or content creators or anything like that. I, invite anybody to come in on my show, and, whether they're reviewer or vlogger or live streamer or just a member of the community, it doesn't matter. It helps to really connect a little bit better and more personally with the community on a face-to-face level. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And that's kind of, one thing that we like to do is, like, we don't necessarily have to have the biggest names on our show. We like to get the little guys on there, kind of get them out there, get them some exposure, help kind of, sometimes we have newer YouTubers come on. Like last week, we had my buddy AO Vapes, who's, just diving into the whole YouTube scene. And I was like, dude, come on the show, kind of get yourself a little bit of exposure, get yourself, comfortable in front of the camera and just chatting with people. Because, these live streams, it's kind of cool, man, especially when you have, a couple people on the panel. It makes you feel like you're just in a room with however many people are on the panel having a conversation. And it kind of helps you, feel a little bit more comfortable and just feel like it's just a normal, hanging out type thing. You don't necessarily realize that you are on YouTube for however many people to see, or however many people are out there viewing, in the chat and stuff like that. And it kind of helps break the ice a little bit and helps them kind of adjust and get that feel and get kind of that adrenaline rush that you get after doing a show. I don't know if you get that, but after every show, I always get that nice like rush of like excitement and just like pumped to do the next one, just because of how great of a time I had, chatting with whoever was there, or just however I feel the show went. I always kind of get that extra little bit burst of energy that wants me to go out there and do it again. So
I get that half the time. The other half is like, oh, did I do that right?
yeah, trust me, I've been there, bro. I've been there. And if you watch some of our earlier episodes when we started just figuring this out, because I'll be completely honest with you guys, before I even started this whole YouTube channel, I didn't have a laptop. I did everything from my phone. I'm not the most computer savvy person, out there. So I'm literally learning all this stuff as I go. And, you literally can see the growth and like everything that I've learned. If you go back to the early days of the channel, and saying early days is kind of weird because it was only about like 6-7 months ago when the channel started. Yeah. But it's just crazy, man. Just figuring all these things out, and like, okay, well, I did that wrong last time, so I ain't gonna do that this time. And then just kind of went, after a while, it started getting in the groove, and you get like a routine going. And,
it's a gradual thing, man. It's
absolutely.
You don't start just great at this stuff, producing some of these Grim Green videos. That's not where you start. You build up to that. You got to start low and slow. And I think it's safe to say that a lot of people that start doing not just reviewing, but with content creation or live streaming, a lot of people start from the most basic of devices, their phone, and that is like, if you don't have the equipment, but you want to start doing something, do it from your phone. Yeah, by all means.
Because honestly, most phones nowadays do better quality video than half the webcams out there. It's simple. You can even get like full on editing software on your phone itself. Yep. You could literally do, your filming, editing, and everything on your phone, and literally just, upload it straight to YouTube, all from, this thing right there.
I know. Sorry guys, I have this problem with ADHD and needing to keep my hands occupied with things. And last time I did a live stream, I had my hand on my mouse and I was moving it all over the screen, not thinking anything about it. Every time I went over the Zoom call, everybody out there could see it, and it made my stream lag. So I was like, oh man. And then they just told me I've been doing it again. So
I do it too, bro, from time to time.
Oh, you get fidgety. I get that a lot.
I'm that type of person too. I either have to have something in my hand, or I've got to kind of be messing with something, not necessarily, to keep my mind busy, but just because, it's just, I think that's part of, the whole, smoking and vaping thing, that whole hand to mouth coordination, like having something, holding something in your hand, because like back when I was a smoker, even when I wasn't necessarily smoking a cigarette, half the time I had my lighter in my hand.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like I catch myself doing that with my pod system. Like I'll literally sit here for a couple hours editing a video, not realizing that I've had my pod system literally like clutched in my hand like this the whole time while I'm moving my mouse. And it's just like, dude, I got a table right here. I could put it down. Like I don't need to be holding it, but it's just one of those things, man.
Yeah, James, I'm going to take your advice, but I don't have a second mouse. So I'm just going to use my battery case.
There you go.
I'm just going to hold that like it's my mouse. So yeah. What did I have? I think you covered this. When did you decide to start doing YouTube videos and streaming?
It actually was kind of crazy how it started. It actually started with vaping with the Omies. And it was actually, that wasn't even what it was called the first time we all appeared together on, the YouTubes. It was on a Friday. There wasn't going to be any vapes due that Friday because, Nick and Stan were over in the UK. Like they're going to be here pretty soon, for, the UK Vape Expo, I believe is what was going on at that time. And Joel was off doing something else. So there wasn't going to be any show that Friday. And, we've already kind of built like a community behind the vape stew. And we're just like, man, like no show Friday. What are we going to do? Like that's like, it was our routine every Friday night. You hang out, you watch the vape stew. So we're like, you know what? A group of us kind of got together. It started off with just a couple of us. And we're like, why don't we just do a show? So, Clown, my buddy Clown Vapes, shout out to him. He has his YouTube channel and he was doing reviews and stuff. He's like, well, I've got a channel we can go live on Friday if you guys want, and we'll call it like the leftover stew. You know what I mean? Like, cause it's, just us, like what's left over from, people watching the stew is just, all the people that were hanging out. And it was a cool idea. And we did that one stream, and actually we ended up having Stan and Nick and actually Jay, Live Vape and Chill, was on with us for our first little YouTube debut. And it was just a great time, man. And after that one show, we had such a good time hanging out with everybody and, just talking. And just being with everybody that was a part of the stream, we're like, why don't we just make this thing? Why don't we just start a show? So we started Vaping with the Homies on Mondays, 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. And it's been a thing. And we're actually coming up on a year. May the 4th, actually, is Vaping with the Homies year anniversary, technically, because that was the day of the first leftover stew, which eventually developed into Vaping with the Homies. So I'm super stoked about that. And then eventually that just led into me wanting to, bring out more content and, kind of start a channel of my own and start doing like review videos and, live streams and do advocacy stuff and just whatever I wanted to do and just put out some content, for people to watch, whether they want to watch it or not. I just wanted to put it out there, put the information out there that I've learned, my opinions on certain things and, what I've found, art is good per se or bad, or what I enjoy, what I don't enjoy, that type of thing. And it just kind of grew from there. And honestly, dude, it's blown me away with the amount of growth that I've received in, these past 6-7 months. I started the channel on September 15th, which is actually, a week after my birthday, which is kind of cool. I didn't plan that, but that's just how it happened. And yeah, I think I'm on somewhere near 700, closing in on 740 subscribers now.
Wow, man. That's great.
Oh, actually 741. So apparently I've gained a couple since the last time I checked.
Hey, it's always a happy thing, right?
Absolutely, man. It surprises me when I open up my dashboard or whatever on YouTube and then see comments from people, great review, or just seeing that people are actually watching the videos and, subscribing. It still blows me away to this day that people actually want to, take time out of their busy days to sit down and watch my videos.
I totally get that. I really, really get that. Well, now that you've explained that, I'll give you a little bit more insight to me.
Absolutely,
actually,
man.
I'll go into mine. Well, I'm coming up on 3 years vaping. When the exact date that I started, I don't remember. But I know that about 6 weeks I started on 0 milligram. I started about 2 weeks after my wife started, and then I was like, all right, we got to go get one. So I was only about 6 weeks into vaping, and then I ended up dual using. I went back to the cigarettes, and it was a year that I quit smoking on March 30th of this year, which just went by. But it's also the day that I started doing all of my video work. The day that I quit smoking, March 30th, 2018, I decided I was going to not only quit smoking, but I was going to do kind of like a first 30-day vlog, just kind of documenting what it was like from the day I quit smoking to a full month after.
Yeah.
And, just kind of take that journey through the first month. And even if it doesn't, if somebody else's path doesn't lead them down the same way, whatever, it gives them a little bit of insight into what to expect, and then after the response I'd gotten from the vlog, I decided I was going to start up a live show. I called it Coffee and Coilz. And I just would make breakfast or whatever and talk vape stuff. And because of the response, I just went in and said, you know what, let's give a shot at some review work and see where it takes us. And it took me. I'm nowhere close to 700 yet, but
hey, man, it'll happen for you, bro. It'll happen, man.
It takes time. It takes time, but it's definitely been growing at a faster rate lately rather than it was towards the beginning. I think I'm closing on almost 450. I'm up to 443, I think, somewhere around there. So my goal is by July 30th to have 500. That's my goal.
We'll make it happen, bro. We'll make it happen.
Oh, I appreciate that. But then, yeah, I started doing the Lethal's Vapor Lounge live and doing my review videos and stuff, and it's just been getting more and more positive feedback. And so I've adopted the mindset that as long as there's even one person that wants to take the time out of their day, like you said, and watch my videos, I'm going to continue doing what I do.
Absolutely.
When the day comes that there's nobody left that wants to watch my stuff and I'm getting no views, then I'll call it quits. But
yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Like, I don't care if I only help one person, out of all the time and the effort that I put into this. If I can help one person make this switch and, extend their life and live a healthier lifestyle, then that was worth it to me at the end of the day.
yep, that's what it's about.
And then the fact that, we do videos like this and we have 30 people watching, that are, taking the time to just sit here and just listen to us talk, hear our story.
Yeah.
That just, it means the world to me. Just that the fact that people actually enjoy the content, they're encouraging, like a lot of the, people are in chat here, and just that support system at the end of the day is what keeps me going. And, if it wasn't for that, man, there's times where I'm just like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. I'm so swamped. I've got so many things I want to do. I don't necessarily have the money to grab this thing right now. Cause I'm sure you're the same way as me. Everything you guys see on the channel is 100%, funded by myself. Everything that I review, I purchase, I have had the few, lucky instances where I have received one or two things from a company for review. Big shout outs to Unicorn Vape Inc. because that they take care of me over there. And, they sent me one of these things over for review, and I absolutely love it. So, dude, like, it's just crazy, man. Because like I said, I never set in doing this expecting to get anything in return. And when I'm saying this, I'm not saying products and stuff. I could give two craps about receiving any products. It's just receiving, the friendships and, the positive feedback and just the love from the people out there in the community is what keeps me doing this. You know what I mean? And drives me. And, it's all for you guys, man. At the end of the day.
Yeah. Without them, we'd have no reason to continue doing what we do,
Exactly.
And that's what it's all about, man. That's where I started from too. It was one of those with my first 30-day vlog. As long as if I could only help just one person to make the switch and to quit cigarettes, then I've done my job. I've done my service. At this point, I can count on two hands how many people have approached me and told me that I've really helped them to make the switch or to keep them off the cigarettes if they're having a bad day or something. And that we do it to get something out of it, in a sense. We do it for the pleasure of knowing that we were able to help somebody to save their life, So we do, but it's nothing monetary or materialistic. It's out of the kindness of, just humanity.
Exactly, dude. I couldn't have said it better myself. That is 100%, the reason why I do this is, to extend the knowledge that I've learned, over, the few years of, trials and tribulations that I've had with my vaping journey. If I can help somebody out, have an easier transition or, find that right device right off the bat and not have to, do some of the struggling that, many of us probably have to find that one thing that worked for us. If I could help, one person, two people, three, like at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. And that's why, a lot of the people that, I surround myself around, and it's part of the reason why I wanted to bring you into the Stooge community and introduce you to our group of people is because that's what we're all about, man. We're about, community growth, helping, the smoker, the new vapor in any way that we can. Whether it's, steering them in the right direction of devices, or if they're asking about advocacy stuff, where they can get involved, we can point them in that the right direction. Right. And, that's what we're about, man, is we need to come together as a vaping community, regardless of where you're from, what you're vaping on, who you watch, or, what race you are or what country you're from. We're all one at the end of the day because we found this life-saving alternative that we are passionate about and we feel, is something that is at the end of the day, improving our lives. We need to come together and fight for this as one, not as, this group here and this group there, this group there. We all need to come together, guys, and fight for a good cause and something that we believe in.
Are you sure you're not from Massachusetts? I swear to God, we could be brothers.
No, man, that's so crazy, dude, because two of my favorite people and two of my main people, like main dudes in this community, are my boy Vapor Swaggins and my boy Sean Typhon, both mass holes themselves. And it's just like, dude, I feel like I was, just like picked up and transplanted on the opposite coast because there would have been too much, awesomeness in one spot if we were all together en masse. But
Kevin
dude,
Smith,
that's pretty funny that you said that, dude.
We hold a lot of the same values, and that's why it's like, wow. Yeah, that's the
about
Warlock.
this, Kevin Smith. What's this? This is a Warlock's dagger. It is a dual 18650 parallel box. I'll go ahead and pop the door open for you, give you a peek on the inside.
Oh,
Got some Samsung 20S's in there, some of my favorite, mech batteries. And this is made by the Gathering Vapor Lounge, Mr. Mark Clough himself. I know I seen him in chat earlier. He makes not only this, but he makes the Warlock's Guardian as well, which is a DNA 250C 21700 right there. And he also makes another one as well, which is the Warlock's Hammer. And I moved everything on my desk. I don't know where I put it. And yeah, bam, there's that. That's a dual 21700 parallel box, but dual MOSFET by the Gathering Vapor.
I need to find prices for those.
Dude, you can you're part of our Vape Stew Discord, bro. You can get right to the man himself there. But of course, if anybody is out there is interested in one of these Warlock mods, check out the Gathering Vapor Lounge on Facebook or the Gathering Vapor on Instagram. That's where you guys can get a hold of him, figure out pricing. He does many different colors, and like I said, he has a couple other different boxes out there as well. I believe he does a DNA 75C Squonker as well, a single 21700. I believe he also does but he has, I believe it's the Warlock's Ember. It's a DNA 75C, a real small, compact box. Perfect for like your little MTL setups and stuff like that. So he's got something out there for everybody.
Very nice. They're exactly something I'm talking about right there. Fag-free 3 months tomorrow since finding your vlog.
That's awesome, dude.
That's Betty. Congratulations to you, hun. I'm so glad that
to you. And keep on pushing.
I didn't do it, by the way. You did this.
Exactly. That's the one thing that I like that you do that too, bro. Is like when people say, "No, man, thank you for helping me do." Man, all I did was, give you the information. What you do with it is on you. And, you make that decision and you doing it for yourself. I'm just trying to help steer you in that right,
exactly.
that right direction, right down the right road.
That's exactly right. So I was going to talk a little bit about some advocacy stuff that I know has been going on the past few days. Actually, it's probably coming up on a week now. But the bill in Congress right now that might destroy the vaping industry as we know it. I don't know. I know that you guys have talked about this previously, haven't you?
I'm sorry. What was I literally got distracted by chat there for a second.
Oh, no worries, bro. No worries. The bill that's being pushed through Congress right now, reversing the Youth Tobacco Epidemic Act.
Yeah, we literally just spoke about this on Monday, I believe, on Vaping with the Homies. If you guys want to, kind of check that out and kind of hear about what we talked about there, because I'm sure, maybe a couple points I missed. But yeah, they're pretty much, trying to crack down on it here, guys. Nationwide is what they're aiming for. They're trying to put in some new regulations. Like they're trying to be like pretty much zero online sales. No flavors
except tobacco,
except for tobacco, unless approved by the FDA. So that means you're going to have to go through that PMTA process, which is going to cost millions.
Just so people know, at this current point in time, no flavors have been approved by the FDA thus far.
Exactly. So if this goes through, that means tobacco, tangerine, mango, watermelon juice that you love so much that you can't get enough of and you vape every day. If this goes through,
gone.
It's gone. That's it, guys.
Yep.
So we need to get active. Advocacy is great and spreading the word is great, but unless you get out there and get active and make those phone calls and write those letters and write those emails and talk to your representatives and tell them what your position is on this bill and say you're against this bill, and if they are for this, then you will not be voting for them. Because at the end of the day, we have the power, guys. We are the people putting these people into office. We have the power to make a change. We just have to get out there and we have to do it. We have to stand up and we have to be present in this fight. We can't just sit by and expect somebody else to do it for us. We have to get out there and do the work ourselves. I know some of you out there may be thinking, oh, well, what's my one email going to do? Or I'm just one person. All it takes is one voice. One droplet creates a ripple that can turn into a wave. You know what I mean? Like it only takes one person to start it, guys. And then, spread that knowledge onto, your fellow vapors and reach outside of your vape circle, guys, outside of your vape community. Find the new vapor, find the smoker, and spread them the information. Of course, be aware of who your audience is and how you word what you're saying, because I know a lot of us out here, we've been in this for a while, and we literally find out about this stuff as it's happening. So, going to the new smoker, they may not know a lot of this stuff that's going on. And, sometimes I know I've done it myself. We start talking about advocacy and, the studies, and when it's just one thing after another, and it's just like brain overload for them. Yep. And it, ultimately it kind of scares them away. So what you got to do is you just got to, give them quick little bullet points and then share a link with them to where they can find the information so they can take that time on their own, to sit down and do the research. Because all you got to do is plant the bug. You plant the bug in their head. Eventually they're going to start thinking about it, and they're going to go home and they're going to start looking this stuff up. Yep. And then they're going to tell their friend, and then their friend's going to tell 2 more friends. And it's a trickle down effect, guys. Yep.
Absolutely. Now, as far as methods of advocacy now, are you of the same mindset? Like CASA, I agree with what they're doing, but I feel like emails aren't enough, and that, like you had mentioned, phone calls and actually handwriting letters would make more of an impact, or at least be another way to fight. It doesn't hurt to do these things. And to me, it's just too easy for them just to say, oh, this is a vape advocacy email, delete it, and I feel like it would be a little harder with handwritten letters or phone calls to ignore.
Absolutely. Because, they get 5,000, 6,000 letters a day or, a week. Eventually that's going to pile up. And they're going to notice them. They're going to get seen, whether, it's by their secretary or somebody's going to see that. And eventually they get enough of them and they get bombarded by enough of them. They're going to have to take notice, and they're going to have to, actually read into it, or, they're going to have to do something. Otherwise they're just going to be, bombarded with all these emails and letters and phone calls, and if you're near your local, representative's office, like if you're near your capital or anything like that, go in and see if you can't get a meeting with these people. A lot of the times they're going to say they're busy, this and that. Well, if you got a day free and you don't have anything going on that day, go in there, say, I would like to speak to so-and-so. And they say, oh, well, he's busy right now. Well, just tell him I've got all day. I can wait.
That's it.
You know what I mean? And be present at these town hall meetings too, guys. Join CASA. That way you guys can get these calls to action, know what's going on in your local area.
It was like earlier during Clown Vape's vlog, while I was in the chat, he was talking a little bit about advocacy, and I had made the statement that, oh Christ, let's see if I can remember this now. It was about advocacy and that we need to step up our efforts. And now I can't remember the last part of that. And that's just typical of me. I know it'll come back to me at some point.
Hey, dude, happens to the best of us, bro.
It usually does come back. And it does happen a lot to everybody. It happens to all of us. So now I'm thinking B&Ms, right? And I'm looking at this bill, and I'm seeing what the the outcome is going to be. And I'm seeing these bullet points here. Now, I'll read through them real quick here. There's, 6 of them?
Yeah.
The first, prohibit all characterizing flavors except tobacco unless they are specifically approved by the FDA. Prohibit online sales. Gives the FDA the authority to collect $100 million in user fees from the vaping industry. It prohibits sales to anyone under the age of 21. Orders FDA to issue a rule on the regulation of products using synthetic nicotine. And it extends all FDA rules on sales and marketing of cigarettes to vaping products, including advertising rules. Now, in the terms of B&Ms, I think personally the 2 most important aspects here that are going to kill them are going to be the flavors and the sales of 21 and up. Now, the $100 million in user fees, that would kill anybody.
Absolutely.
That would kill anybody. I think that the B&Ms, especially in the locations where I'm at least the vapor shops that I've been to, have had kids ranging from 18 to 21 and up. But I think I've seen the majority of between 18 to 25. Yeah. And I think that by moving that to 21, that they're going to see obviously a drop in that. Plus, with the flavors coming off the shelves, you probably already know this, B&M shops, that's a primary source of their income, is through e-liquid. What do you have any thoughts on that? What would be the most important aspects here that would kill B&M shops?
My instant first thought to me is I have many people that I speak to on a daily basis that either work in a shop, manage a shop, or have something to do along those lines. And I'll tell you guys straight off the bat, almost the biggest majority of their profit and their sales is e-juice, is e-liquid. So if this goes through and are only able to have tobacco flavors, that's ultimately going to end up, it's going to close down almost every shop, guys, because they're not going to be able to keep the lights on. Because, because a lot of these places, they've got, multiple different, flavors and different juice lines and all this. And, certain people come in for certain flavors and stuff like that. But if you're only left with tobacco or, menthol or whatever the FDA ends up deeming or approving or whatever, you're not going to have a selection. You know what I mean? And they're not going to have as many, people coming in for certain things and stuff like that. And it's ultimately going to kill the shop. Like, you can ask my buddy Sean Typhon, he works at a shop himself, and it's ultimately, it's going to be putting their livelihoods at jeopardy. Anybody that works in a brick and mortar, whether, you're owning the shop, whether, you're working in it, it's going to affect so many people, bro. It's going to affect thousands. Yep. Thousands of people are going to end up losing their job, especially out here in California, because California is also proposing, a statewide flavor ban as well at the moment. And, I don't know if you guys, a lot of you know this, but a big majority of the United States juices are made in California.
Yep.
So if this happens here in California, let alone nationwide, it's not only going to affect us here in the States, it's going to affect everybody. People over there, you guys that are tuning in the UK, it's going to affect you guys, because I know there's, a lot of stuff that you guys have out there that comes from here in the US, and it's going to be a trickle down effect. It's going to end up affecting everybody in some way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. Sean made a good point right here. He says there's an effect in the entire economy. Shipping industry, for example, gets hurt. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Because with there will be no sales online. That's going to end up hurting, the shipping people, because they're not going to be making as much money from, the shipping costs that people are paying for all the vape mail packages that they order on a daily basis. Like, I don't know about you guys, but, there's some weeks I got a package showing up at my house every other day. You know what I mean? Whether it be juice, Coilz, atomizer, something, I'm not saying all you guys out there have the, the addiction, the addiction to buy stuff like I do when it comes to vaping. Like I literally get a little out of hand sometimes, I will say. But like it's going to affect everybody in some way, shape, or form that is attached to the vape community. Whether you're a mod company, whether you're a juice maker, whether you're a a distro, a shop owner, any of that. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad for everybody.
Yep, it sure is going to be bad for everybody. There's no question about that. This new bill that's going through is going to kill pretty much everything for us.
And the crappy part about it is like the only company that would be able to actually end up going through this PMTA process and probably be able to still be on the market is Juul.
Yep.
And that is because they have that partnership with Altria, literally in their back pocket. So they're literally going to be able, if this ends up happening, Juul will literally be able to monopolize on the entire vape industry as a whole. Just think about that for a second, guys.
Now, do you think that maybe if they decided to go down the remove all pod systems from the market road, this might be a little different?
Honestly, man, I don't know. I do think the pod systems had a lot to do with the way things are going now, especially, like I said, Juul being, the number one, culprit of this. I don't necessarily think it's the pod system. I think it's more of the nicotine salts is what really did it. Because I'm not sure if you've had the experience or spoke with anybody, but I know people personally that, were, regular 3 milligram, sub-ohm vapors. And, the Juul came out with that 50 milligram nic salt. And they got to the point where all they were vaping was that Juul. They had one in their hand constantly. And, they couldn't get satisfied off of their normal, free base setups. Right. And it literally, I feel like, got people to even more addicted to nicotine. And like, for some people, it was great because some people needed that to help them make that switch or whatever. But I still think 50 milligram nic salts is just way too high of a milligram for anybody. Yeah. Me personally, I have used 50 milligram nic salts in the past, and I noticed that same type of thing. Like there's times where I would get anxious if I didn't have my salt pod system, in my pocket or in my hand, because, I was so used to ripping on it and getting that, that quick fix, because that nicotine salt does metabolize quicker, and it actually attaches to your cells. I don't know if you guys know this about how like it's actually absorbed, but like when it metabolizes, it's a little bit different than your free base. It actually like clings on to cells and actually starts building inside. Like you start kind of like building a tolerance type thing for it, and it's like a whole thing, guys.
And you need more and more of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like where you literally.
Yeah, Sean Typhon said it exploits your addiction.
Exactly. You pretty much end up becoming developing a dependency on it. You know what I mean? Where like you walk out of your room and realize you don't have your your Infinix or you panic and you're like, whoa, what the hell? You know what I mean? And that alone is one of the reasons why I ended up making the switch back to my regular 12 to 18 milligram free base nicotine. I still get that throat hit that I was getting from my nic salts, but without that crazy amount of nicotine. And I don't nearly feel as anxious anymore. Like I could take 1 or 2 rips off of this, put it down, and not feel like I would if I was on like the nic salts and stuff like that. But of course, that's me personally. I one thing I always make sure to tell people is everything that I say is 100% my opinion, guys. 100% my opinion. I'm not telling you you're wrong or this, and that, but that's just how I feel about the situation.
That's a very good point to make, and I think that's forgotten a lot of times, and I think that's where the back and forth and the trolling really stems from that.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Yeah. So it's no lie or secret that this is a bad thing that's happening right now. There are bad things happening, not just here, but as well in obviously Australia has had massive problems down there with vaping. UK is doing pretty good right now. I think that there's a lot that we could learn from the system that they've got going on in the UK.
The UK, Canada as well has got definitely a better situation going on up there than we've got going here as well in the States. But yeah, dude, I feel like a lot of, here in the States and in Australia, they could take a lot of, tips from what they got going on over there in the UK. And because honestly, I feel like they've got a great model that we can, build off of.
And they got the information too. They've got all the education and research and everything. And we're just, the FDA is so ignorant to the facts.
Proof is in the pudding, bro.
That's
proof
it.
Is in the pudding.
That's it. They're just so ignorant to all of the information that's already been found out about vaping, and they're concerned with money.
Today, this literally just popped in my head, and I kind of want to make a point about it because this is something that kind of grinded my gears today. This is something that happened yesterday in Albany. There was a hearing for, the flavor ban out there. And a lady came up and spoke and literally said that they are putting, ammonia in vape juice to make the clouds denser.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of BS is that, dude? Like, literally, they're sitting here at this meeting for a flavor ban, literally spewing out misinformation right there in the middle of the meeting. And I don't know if you guys seen this, but later on, I guess after she spoke or something like that, another man stepped up and spoke, and he literally pretty much said what she said's BS. Like, there's studies out there, there's proof, and he made quotes and stuff like that, literally saying about the formaldehyde and many of the other things that are saying out there that a lot of these studies are bullshit and misconstrued and not applicable in real life scenarios, because they're either burning a coil way too hot, and that's what's causing the formaldehyde, because it's literally burning because of how hot they're running it, and they're burning it with no juice or anything on it, and it's just literally caught. You throw a steak on your barbecue for long enough, it's going to develop formaldehyde. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, it's common sense. You know what I mean? So it's just good to see that there are people showing up to these meetings and actually saying that that this shit is bullshit. And there is studies out there that you guys can go and check out and see the actual data and how they came to, their findings, and actually see that, this is definitely a healthier alternative. I know I was speaking on last Thursday on That's What She Said, the new live stream. If you guys haven't seen it, on Ruby Rouge channel, shout outs to the whole panel over there. Danielle Jones was saying that her mother is was a nurse or a doctor, or has something to do in the medical field, and she understands the terminology and how they go about these studies and stuff. And even she read some of these studies that were coming out and saying that this is complete BS. Like, they can't, this isn't relatable in a real life scenario, or like, right, this is inflated. Or of course she used the more technical terms. I'm not the smartest guy, so sometimes I don't have the best descriptors. But yeah, like, even her being someone in the medical field saying that even she believes that this is a healthier alternative. So that's one thing you guys can do too. Spread the knowledge to your doctors too. Next time you go in for a checkup or something, like, hey, have you heard anything about vaping? Kind of put the bug in his ear, because who knows, he might look up some research and it might help change his mind, and
yeah,
that could help somebody at the end of the day.
My doctors have both asked me, because there was a period in time when I had some serious chest action going on from smoking, and so they told me, or they asked me every time I go in now, are you still smoking? And I remember the last time I went in, they asked me that. I was like, no, actually I'm vaping. And they're like, how's it working out for you? It's going well. What do you think? And she's like, well, I don't really have enough information on it to tell you yes or no, but if it's working, keep doing it. So I was like, all right, Yeah. Some doctors are like that. Others are like, oh, absolutely not. And then there have been some doctors that have come out outright and said, yes, it's safer than smoking cigarettes for you. Legally not supposed to do that, I guess, but let's see. Anybody in chat have any questions for Mr. Frames Janklin? And Frames, do you have any questions for me?
That is a good question. Well, of course, one thing I'd like to know, because with the name Lethal Coils, that means you must build some coils, bro. Like, what got you into building?
I don't know. I think it was the day that I walked into the vape shop my first time. I wanted something to start with, but I was looking through the shelves and the counters, and the rebuildables really stuck out to me. I really wanted to get into dripping and building my own coils. Well, not building my own coils at that point. At that point, it was just I want to buy pre-made coils and put them in a dripper and use that. And then it just kind of grew from there. I got so involved in watching videos on YouTube and seeing, M Turk and Twisted Messes and Homeboy OC and N Divine 83 doing all these sick coil builds.
The Godfathers, bro.
And it's just like, wow, maybe I should try that at some point. It would save me money because I could build coils cheaper than it would cost me if I was to buy them pre-made. Yeah. So I was like, let's give it a shot. And so I started with obviously my single round wire builds, and then went up to Clapton's, and then it just grew from there. I was selling them for a time, my aliens pretty much exclusively. I've been out of it for a little bit, life kind of took over, and I've got a lot of stuff going on with YouTube and Facebook, and I'm starting to get back into the Instagram action now. So it's been eating up a lot of my time with this stuff. I haven't really had too much time outside of life and here to really get my hands down and dirty with the wire. I do go back to it, periodically throughout the day. I just also with the ADHD, I can only stay occupied with one task for so long, and then I have to bounce to something else.
Yep.
That's just,
I know what you mean, man.
The nature of the beast, But yeah, that's how I got started, was just watching and having a genuine interest in what I was watching, and seeing these guys kind of, in a way, I saw it as them working magic with wire, and I was like, I want to be able to do that. So, I've gotten into frame staples, and I've built a couple of Fralians here and there, but I'm still perfecting those. And
nice, man.
But yeah, that's where I started from.
That's awesome, dude. Honestly, like me personally, I haven't built in a good probably like 2-3 years now, I think. But of course, I never got quite too far into it. I've done a few fused Claptons back in my day. I've done a staple coil in the past. But I definitely not into the whole alien, Fralian, that type of thing. But dude, I honestly I'm one of those people who just enjoys vaping other builders' coils, because everybody has their recipe. Everybody does everything a little bit different, and even though they may look the same from the outside, everybody's vape's different. They have different tension to them, the spacing's different, and
everybody uses different types of wire too.
Exactly. Like I literally just got some this past weekend, some AJ Holland, his 4-core aliens. Dude, Flavor City, they are like the most crackly, just so crackly, dude. Oh,
are those Nichrome 80 or?
Yes, N80 3mm 4 wrap that came out to like a 0.11. So definitely
those got to be 2636.
Let me see. I've got the little jar here. They are actually they're quad 28 wrapped in 37.
Oh, see, I do.
But dude, they are just some banging coils, man. And
they sound like a bunch of crackers.
Talking about it, I have to take a nice, just long toot off of this thing real quick. So good. So good.
There you go. No, nothing beats vaping your own. You're absolutely right,
I
Kevin.
agree though, man. It does add that little extra
It's like,
satisfaction
oh
to the
man, I
vape.
made these
Like,
and they
man,
performed.
not only does it like vape great, the flavors on point, but I made those bad boys. You know, like it's just like it kind of gives you that little confidence boost. Like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I can make some coils.
Absolutely. Well, be in touch with me. We'll be in touch after the show, anyways,
Absolutely, dude.
and see what we can sort out for you for some coils. Um, yeah, is that it? You don't have any other questions?
Dude, man, I got this is like a question I like to ask people when they come onto my show
Sure.
is what is your preferred vaping style? Like, what do you like? Are you
Ooh,
into regulated? Do you like mechs? Are you an RDA guy? Do you like RTAs? Like,
that's a
what's your niche, bro?
that's a
Like, what's the one that
difficult.
you constantly go for? Because if you're like me, I'm all over the board, bro. I'm everywhere. Like, just today, you've seen it. I've got, single battery squonker. I've got a mech tube here.
Yep.
I've got, parallel box, RTA. I'm all over the board. But me personally, my preferred way to vape, what I love, and is like my go-to, dude. I'm a mech guy, hands down. Mech RDA. Just blow the juice right in the top and just vape your face off. That's like my way to go.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's
Dude,
just it.
see,
That's the
I knew we were supposed to meet, bro. We were supposed to hang out because
man. I'm
we
through
just
and through a
click.
mech head. I really am. But lately, I've been all over the place. I've been mouth to lunging with my Me One. I've been sub ohming with the Hellbeast tank. Uh, I do a lot of drippers. That's my primary go-to are drippers. Um, but I'm rocking the regulated drag with the RTA for the dead rabbit there. I'm like I said, primarily a mech head, just like you, but
Yeah.
I'm all over the place. I use a little bit of everything. I've been enjoying a little bit of a cooler vape, which is why I really like these regulated devices now. Because you could really,
Just to taste, bro.
yeah,
Just to taste.
that's it. That's it, you know? But yeah, I'm very much the same, where I enjoy everything but mostly the mechs and the drippers.
Dude, it's kind of funny, man, because like as much as I love my mechs, and I was saying that, I've kind of seen that I'm kind of starting a new trend in my collection of vape, hardware and stuff like that. I've kind of been diving down that single battery mech squonk with 22 millimeter single coil restricted airflow flavor bangers, which is complete like 180 from like my big, rowdy, cloud chasey, meth builds that I've known to love. It's kind of weird, bro, because like I've been rocking this thing nonstop since I got it this past Saturday, and I haven't been able to put it down, dude. Just like
Yep.
the compact form factor of it. I've got I think about 8 mil juice capacity in the bottle in here. You know, with
Can't
the
go wrong with that.
single 18650, of course, I've got a 3, I think it's like a point 0.3 build in here, so it's a little bit higher up in the resistance, which is going to adds a little bit extra battery life. So for a single 18650, I could rock this like for a good 8-hour day at work and still be good to go, and then come home, throw a fresh battery in it, and get the rest of the day. So
Absolutely.
it's
Yep.
it's just cool to test out different styles and try out different things, right?
Yeah, I forgot to throw that out there too. You know, the squonking. I've been into squonking for a little while now too. Um, whether these regulateds are fantastic. I still need to get my hands on a topside, but I've got the Rage and I love it for squonking. It also, like right now, I'm using it as a functional, just regulated mod, dripping on it, and works great. But then I've got my mech boxes too, like the Ram box or the Pulse BF. I've got mechanical squonks like those as well, and man, mechanical devices, tubes primarily hit the hardest that I've found, but mechanical mods in any shape or form are probably my favorites.
Absolutely, dude. Like when I look down at my collection that I've gathered over the past few years, I notice a huge trend, and it's mechs, bro.
Yep.
Whether it's a squonker, whether it's a tube, or even like MOSFET, parallel boxes, like, straight, that straight DC to the face, bro. You know what I mean?
Yo,
I love it. I love it.
absolutely. Actually, it's funny because I actually have to give a big shout out to my boy Double O Subohm right now for shipping me out a package that he's actually sending me. Do you know the VCP? The Vapors Cloud Pig?
Yes.
He's sending me one of those. 26650 mechanical series box with a TM22, the OG, sitting in there as well.
I've got a TM squared just kicking it over here.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. This is from Miss Michelle Lynn, Doldine Mods herself.
That's a sexy red, too.
Yeah, dude. This has actually got one of her builds in this as well. I'm not taking it out either. This like literally stays here, and every now and then I wick it up. I vape on it a few times just so I can feel, like that love.
That stooge love.
Michelle's awesome.
She really is. She's a wonderful, wonderful woman. It was great being on the vape show with them last night. That was awesome.
Dude, it was awesome seeing you on there, dude. Like, I literally opened up the window. I was like, oh, dude, Lethal's on. Hell yeah.
Well, thank you, man. It's still, I don't know, like, it's still a little, I don't know, weird.
Asked to be a guest on the show, right?
Yeah, weird being asked and weird having people come to you and be like, dude, it was awesome seeing you on the show. It's like, yeah. It makes you glad, but you're like, oh, thank you.
That never gets old. Or like it's I don't want to say never gets old, but it's something that you never get used to. Let's put it that way. Is like I was telling you at NBE, running into, subscribers or people that I see, in the chat, and then like literally them coming up like, dude, I watch your videos, this and that, I love this. Like, that right there is just crazy, man. Because I've always been on the other end, going up to people, telling them I love their content, I watch their videos, I'm, that type of thing. So having it happen to you is a completely like mind-blowing experience, and honestly, super, super humbling as well. Just knowing that you guys, take the time to hang out and watch our videos and stuff like that.
That's big. It's huge. That's
absolutely
huge. It's funny because at NVE, I also I went live for a little bit, and one of my viewers was he showed up at NVE, and because I went live, he started messaging me on Facebook. He's like, "Where are you? Where are you? I want to meet you." And I'm like, "Oh shit! All right, well, I'll be over here." And then he came up to me and he was like, "Don't you ever quit? Don't you stop doing what you do?" And I'm like, "Wow, man! I can't tell you how much I appreciate the kind words. It's just mind blowing, It's just
because, dude, like honestly, like I had the idea of starting a channel for a while in like the back of my head. I was like, oh, that would be fun, to kind of record some reviews or whatever. And I never really had the confidence just to go out there and do it. And then just hanging out with the community, the vape stew, ultimately, and the hardcore group that we got over there. Shout out to all my Stooge crew, Filthy Casuals, and my dirty regulars. Mr. Lethal is one of the dirty regulars himself. But like just hanging out with those people, and then literally having them saying, dude, like you have the personality for this, you've got the charisma, like you could do this, bro. Just go out there and do it. And just having them like kind of give me that little bit of a confidence boost and stuff like that, and just having that support system at the end of the day was what really made me just go out there and just dive in, head first and just go for it. And man, if it wasn't for the Stooges and everybody out there, like I don't think I would have done this and ran with it as well as I have, because you guys at the end of the day keep me motivated. And it's just awesome, man. It's awesome.
Absolutely it is. Shadowlink Vapor. The funny thing is I knew you from Instagram, didn't know you had a channel, but I'd never seen your mug, so I didn't know who you were till you told me by Aspen's booth at NVE. Oh, man. Well, it was awesome meeting you, bro. It was awesome meeting everybody that day. Man, it was a system shock, to be sure.
Absolutely, man.
Seeing,
it was crazy.
Like, all these people that you've seen on YouTube, like... when I first started watching my videos, obviously one of the first people I found, who? Grim Green.
Yeah.
So,
dude.
you know, seeing and watching him for as long as I have, and then being able to actually finally meet him, it's like when you're watching these people, at least for myself, the experience I had was I viewed these people as, because I loved vaping so much, as minor celebrities. And so when I first meet them, I'm like, wow, I'm actually meeting this person.
Yeah. The crazy part is, bro, is they're people, dude. Like, you build it up so much in your head, like, oh my God, like this is Grim Green, you know, like like you said, like a vape celebrity or vape god, if you want to say. And, you know, just walking up to him and like talking to him and finding out that he's like one of the super coolest, down to earth dudes that'll literally just sit there and have a conversation with you, bro.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And he's just as excited to meet you as you are to meet him. Yep. Like that's one of the coolest things about it. And that's one thing that I'm going to make sure that I never change about myself, you know, no matter how big the channel gets or anything like that. That's one thing about going to the shows and stuff that I'm most excited for, is meeting you guys, all the people out there that, you know, watch the videos, you know, that, you know, are hanging out with us in chat all the time, being able to put names to faces, because that's honestly what makes the show. And that's what made NVE for me, was just hanging out with all the Stooge family that made it out there, all the viewers that were in the area that ended up making it to the show and stuff. Like, that's what made the show as epic as it was.
Yes,
for sure.
Absolutely. I did a couple of talked about NVE a few times, a few weeks during my live show after NVE, and one thing I kept saying, and I still hold true to this, is the biggest thing that I can say that I walked away from NVE having learned is that at the end of the day, we're all just people doing what we love. No, they don't consider themselves better than anybody else, and they're just as, we're all equal. You know, we're just people doing what we love.
Exactly. I just so happen to make videos and put them on YouTube.
That's it.
That's the only difference. Mm-hmm. That is literally the only difference, guys.
Absolutely.
So don't be afraid to come up to us and say hi if you see us at shows and stuff, guys. We want to see you. We want to meet you. We want to say hi. We want to give out those crisp high fives, you know, hugs, all that good stuff. Who knows? I might even grab, you know, a butt cheek or something.
Oh man!
Just don't like call it
freak out. Yeah.
It's all in good fun. It's all in good fun.
No. Whoops. After show.
Hashtag after show.
Hashtag after show. Oh man. Well, hanging out with everyone at Stooge House was literally the best thing about NVE.
Absolutely, dude.
I saw some footage.
Dude, I so wish that we could have, because I don't think we ran into you until the day after we ended up having everybody over.
Right.
But dude, like after meeting and stuff, I was like, dude, it would have been so cool to have you over with us as well. Cause like, if you guys have seen from the many vlogs out there, whether you watch mine, Clown's, Nick's, or Sean's, you see that we had a lot of, you know, big name people actually just come and hang out with us, just as, you know, everyday people sitting there having a couple beers, playing some pool, just talking vape, talking not non-vape. Like we had Grim show up, Ruby Roo was there, M Turk, you know, people that a lot of us look up to, you know, and just having them hanging out with us and just having everyday conversations with people. Like I literally sat there and was talking with J-Bo and Josh the Hand, and, you know, Ruby's husband, who's responsible for those beautiful Aspen Monarchs that are out there, and just having like conversations about whatever, you know. It wasn't, a lot of the times it wasn't necessarily even about vaping. You know, of course, it would start off there, and the next thing you know, you're having a conversation about, you know, what games you used to do when you were a kid, or, you know, like what movies are you watching at the time, or what Netflix series are you hooked on, and just like having everyday conversations with, you know, people that you idolize, and just noticing that, you know, they're just people just like you and me that just happen to put videos up and have a big following. That's right. You know, that's just all it is.
It's that Texas guy. I don't get it.
Oh, Texas Cloud Town, my dude, bro.
Oh,
shout out.
Yes. I didn't look up. All I saw was it's that Texas guy. Hello, Texas Cloud Town. Yeah, if there is another NVE next year, are you guys going?
Absolutely, dude. 100%. 100%.
Bingo.
I know the next show that I'm for sure going to is ECC in August in Ontario. I will be there. It's literally like 45-minute to an hour drive from my house. So I'll definitely be there. I'll be there the whole weekend. I know there's a couple other, Stooges that are planning on going as well. I'm also going to try to possibly make it to Houston for Showcase, I believe, is the show in June. I think it's like the 16th, 17th of June. I might be trying to make it out to that as well. That's all dependent on, work and, vacation time and all that stuff. But I'm going to try to work it out to make it out to a couple different shows, and then hopefully, more in the future.
Awesome.
I'd love to make it out there to the UK for Vapor Expo at some point.
Oh, that would be great. Unfortunately for me, I wouldn't be able to make that trip. I'm not allowed out of the country. So, I know it sucks, man. I've got a lot of my viewers are from the UK.
Yeah.
That's where I started out at. I was involved with a UK vape group, and that's where most of the earlier subs came from. Was from there, and then it just kind of spilled over into the rest of the UK vape community, and I was going on live streams and having other people on my live streams just like we are now, and so I know a lot of people would love to meet me, and unfortunately the sad fact is unless they come over here to NVE, that's not going to happen. Oh, Mr. Andrew Taylor, what's going on, my man?
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, thanks for joining us. As we are, I only usually go an hour, but we're already 22 minutes over that just because it's
man, that
so
just
easy
means
to
we're
talk.
having good conversation, having a good time.
It rolls, man. It rolls.
Enjoying it too, bro. So
it rolls, man.
I'm down with it, man. I'm down with it.
Down with the clouds.
Dude, honestly, like I enjoy, I love being on shows where we've got, a couple people on the panel, where you've got like a couple guests and stuff like that, and you can hear different people's points of views. But, every now and then I like these more intimate one-on-one, streams where we can, literally have just that straight back and forth. Like I literally was on Poon Sauce McNasty's channel. If you guys haven't subscribed to him, go check him out. His channel is all about vape advocacy. So that's a great place to be subscribed to. You can find out about what's happening over here in the States. And I'm sure he's probably going to touch on stuff outside of the States as well. But yeah, he's got this new show that he does on Saturdays. It's called What's Your Story? And I pretty much came on pretty much like what I did at the beginning of your show, introduced myself, how I got my start and that type of thing. And it's really cool, man, because you get to, have that back and forth, like I'm saying, and get to know each other on, that little extra level, on that more intimate level, because you don't have to worry about, talking over anybody or, making sure that this person had time to talk or this person was able to make their point,
Yep. I totally get it. It's also, it's much harder when you're solo casting, by the way.
Oh, dude, trust me. I know. That's why Sean's my co-host on Fridays, bro, because there was times where I wouldn't have anybody lined up. And I'd literally have to, I think I only did one or two by myself. And after that, I was like, nope, I need to have someone to at least bounce off of, or while I'm like looking for a link or looking at chat, they can kind of, take the reins for a second. It makes things so much easier, not only on myself, but I feel like it makes the show flow a little bit better, a little bit more organic, makes it look like an actual, conversation and not so much something that, you're either reading off a script or, making up as you go.
Right. Yep. And that's why I only did bullet points. I was like, there's no way. Oh, I'm doing it again. Mouse time. Sorry, guys. There we go. That's why I only made bullet points. I don't ever like sounding like I'm reading from a script, because that just sounds very monotonous and lack of personality, It's like you don't put any... It's almost like you don't put any effort into what you're doing if you're reading from a script, I feel. Because you're not giving yourself, you're giving words. I don't know. Do you feel the same? Like,
well, I'm just going to answer a question in chat. When you say Betty BW said, can someone translate dope? It means cool. Awesome. Yep. Great. It's a California thing.
Yep. Yep.
said
I
it
say
all
it
the time.
sometimes here and there, but
Yeah,
yep.
I say it a lot, and I don't realize it.
Oh yeah, it happens, man. It's when you say something so many times, it just second nature. It's
Dude,
instinctive.
like in my reviews, I need to find a new word besides nice. Like I was literally editing a review the other day, and like I was seriously sitting there. I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. God damn, dude! Like, you have any other words in your vocabulary besides nice? Like, I definitely need to work on that. Add some new adjectives. I can't talk either today.
That's all
I
right.
need to expand the vocabulary for sure.
Yeah, Andrew Taylor, wicked.
Yeah,
Especially
dude.
here in the state of Massachusetts, wicked is a real thing. It's wicked awesome. It really is.
Yeah. Overdrip says YouTube reviews increase your vernacular. Yeah. They make you realize what. There you go, mint. I'm gonna start saying that because that's more of a UK thing. I think it's not something we say over here in the States very often.
We
But I
used
do
to say
hear
it
a
a
lot.
lot here in New England.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people, in the UK say mint. So I'm gonna start saying that now. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna make that a thing. Who said that? Shane Davis. I appreciate that, man. I'm gonna steal that.
Who's a scouse? Who's a scouse? I'm not a scouse. That in case anybody in the chat, or if you don't quite understand that, I believe that's someone that comes. It's a slang term for someone that comes from Liverpool.
Ah,
So I'm like, who's a scouse? I don't live in Liverpool. Yeah, guys,
bro.
anything out there in chat?
Sean just said another word that I haven't heard in a long time used in this way. He's like, I haven't heard mint in a grip.
Oh Jesus!
Like how people, like the new thing now is people said, I haven't heard that in a minute. It's like, or in other words, in a long time, in a while. That's pretty, dude.
Yep,
Bring
they
back
are.
some good ones, man.
Those are Liverpoolians, are Scousers, or Scousers, and the reason she was saying that is because they say mint a lot.
Gotcha.
I'm not going anywhere near a pool full of liver. Oh my goodness. Yep.
Yeah. I don't think I would take a dip in that pool either.
Nope. Sounds like it needs some cleaning.
Yeah. And some
Definitely.
antibacterial action.
Bust out the hand sanitizer.
Yeah,
like
dude.
Gallons of it. Oh man. Hey Benny boy, how we doing? So yeah, that's about what I got. What are why don't you go ahead and we can start wrapping things up here? You want to give some shout outs, some plugs for your...
I want to shout out a couple people in chat, some of my faithful stooges that, made their way over here, and I'm glad to see that they're here. Shadowlink Vapor, Overdrip, Sean Typhon, of course, Shane Oakley, Texas Cloud Town. I seen Vapor Swaggins up in the chat earlier as well. Vaping Irish, my dude. I know I always see you in the Omis chats and stuff as well. Much love to you, brother. And absolutely, I want to shout out all you guys as well that, this is technically maybe our first time, interacting, back and forth in chat. Like Betty is awesome, chatting back and forth with you, Andrew, Shane, all you guys out there. Absolutely pleasure to be on the show, man. I'm honored that you'd asked me to be on. Anytime anybody asks me to be on a show, I'm honored because, I'm just a dude that likes to talk about vape stuff. And yeah, that's it. A couple things I want to plug real quick, if that's cool.
Go for it, man. By all means, plug your stuff.
Just dropped a new review today for this Bennett Tool Customs Squarius XL. So if you guys are interested in taking a closer look at this, you could check that out. 21700 mechanical squonk, solid silver contacts on the inside. This thing is little spoiler. I'm really digging the hell out of this. Of course, like I said, Vaping with the Omis. Go subscribe to the Vaping with the Omis channel. Subscribe to Clown Vapes because that's where we'll be on Monday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Not 100% sure what that's going to be. Greenwich meantime. Chris will probably be able to tell you that a little bit better than I would. So that would be an hour later than the show was today.
So 8 o'clock p.m. our time, 8 p.m. my time.
Yeah.
So that would be
I know
5
it's late
hours.
for you guys.
They're 5 hours ahead of me. So that
Okay.
would be 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so I know it's late, guys, but of course, if you don't catch the live, check out the the replay. And then come and hang out with me on Friday for that green room stream with my boy Sean Typhon, aka the Angry Hippie. Go subscribe to his channel as well. He does amazing juice reviews and what he calls his Angry Hippie rants. When he hears about something advocacy wise or something that's grinding his gears and he wants to get out there and just vent a little bit, he posts a video up there, and they're pretty entertaining and sometimes pretty informative as well. Other than that, man, usual reviews on Mondays and Tuesdays now. I'm actually gonna be cranking out 2 reviews a week, on top of the Omies on Monday and the Green Room on Friday. Come hang out with us in the Vape Stew. Join the Facebook group. You come hang out with us in the Vape Stew Discord. Lethal comes and hangs out with us from time to time. Me and him were chatting yesterday for a good, good while. On my way home from work, and we're always in there, chatting, all that good stuff. Join the Omies group as well. Do giveaways, stuff like that. And yeah, that's about it, man.
That's awesome, man. I don't know if you said this. I know you mentioned the review that you had just put up, but if anybody out there is not already subscribed to Mr. Frames Janklin, please do go check out his channel and throw him a sub, please.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Oh, by all means, man. We're fam, so I gotta show the love, man. Show the love.
And you know what? Now, since I've been on your show, you have to come on my show.
Oh,
we'll work out details, bro. But you got to come on the Green Room and hang out with me and Sean. We'll talk Coilz, we'll talk juice, whatever. What we might not even talk about vape stuff, to be honest with you. We might talk about Avengers Endgame, because I know that's coming out and I got to go see it. Or we might talk about music or whatever happens to come up. Of course, we always take requests from the viewers out there. If you guys got ideas for the show, send them over to me, framesjanklinvapor@gmail.com. We'll make that happen. But yeah, dude, we got to get you on the show, man.
By all means, we'll make it a date. We sure will.
Yeah, Sean says right there, Lethal, Green Room, 2 weeks, bro. Let's make it happen. I'm down, bro. If you're down.
2 weeks, I'm good. We're good. We're golden.
Done deal, guys. You heard it here first. Lethal Coilz, Green Room, 2 weeks from now. Not this Friday, following Friday. Come hang out. It's going to be a good time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you, Mr. Frames Janklin. It's been a pleasure having you on the channel.
Pleasure is all mine, man.
It was a great show. It was a great show. J Money, Lethal Coilz with 1 pee-pee touch. What? What? J Money. Oh, man. So, yeah, like I was saying, it was a great show. It was great to have you here. I'm super, super pumped that you agreed to come on. It's been a killer chat. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Big love and thank you to everybody in chat. Thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have you guys with us as well, throwing out your comments and kind of interacting with us on that level as well. Thank you to all of my spanners. You guys have done fantastic work tonight. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys for stepping it up like you guys do. Thank you very much, J Money. Why don't you, real quick, do your little sign out?
Bro, I was hoping you would ask. Of course, like I said, one quick thing too, make sure you guys tune in this Friday. We're going to have a pretty cool show. I'm going to let you guys know first. I'm going to spill the beans here first. I usually wait for the Friday cloud check, but this Friday, we're going to be having Michelle Lynn, Miss Ruby Roo, and possibly some other That's What She Said panel members on the Green Room this week. So it's going to be a great show. Come hang out. It's going to be awesome. And of course, with that being said, guys, sending out all those positive vibes, crisp high fives your way. And yeah, just vape on, y'all.
Love it. And the reason I did that, I don't know if you've seen the ends of any of my lives, but I do something
I've seen them, bro.
very similar. Very similar. Guys, yes, similar to that, J Money, similar to that. Please remember that we're the masters of our own destinies. We're the only ones in this world that can pick and choose how positive or negative our days will ever be. So please remember to keep that positivity high, keep the smiles on your faces, and let that negative just brush off your shoulders. We love you all. Thank you from me and Mr. Frames Janklin. We'll see you next week, guys. Peace.
Peace out, guys.